this video, I'd like to show you how to paint mountains without a palette knife. I'll be using just brushes. I have two bristle brushes and they are both flat brushes, meaning they're not like a filbert brush with a rounded edge. And also the synthetic brush is also very flat and it has nice chisel edge corners. So right now I'm outlining my mountain and I'm using lots of paint here. The paint mixture is Prussian blue oil paint and midnight black oil paint. So right now I'm just taking my time and making sure that I have a nice distribution of paint and that my paint is pushed into the weave of canvas, so that we're gonna be doing a little bit of moving the paint again with the shop towel, so that we get a nice even distribution and of pigment, so that there's not a lot of oil in there. And now I am using the shop towel to just kind of make it nice and even and smooth, and also pushing the shop towel into the weave of the canvas. And this is an important step, as we'll be placing our highlights and our shadows on top of this with our bristle brush. Alright, there we go. So there's my bristle brush and we're going straight into titanium white. And it looks like I'm just loading one side of the brush. I'll be using this side and a little bit of the corners to create my highlights. And as I do my highlights, I basically have the brush flat to the canvas, much as though I was using a knife, right? The flat palette knife. So it's kind of similar movements, and then we get this nice breaking of paint happening. And reloading again. So I want to say, when I reload, I'm always wiping my brush first and then reloading into the fresh paint. Okay, and I'm just kind of outlining where the highlights are going to be. And just kind of I'm also rotating the brush around, and now I'm using the side of the brush to get some of that nice texture in there. And just making some interesting shapes of the mountains and jumping back and forth between the different peaks here. I'm going into my blue. I'm gonna mix up some more of the shadow color. So it's mostly Prussian blue and some titanium white and a little bit of the midnight black there. So again, the smaller bristle brush, and I'm gonna start looking for some shadows here on this mountain. And again, much like a smaller palette knife, we're just using the flat side of it. And then just kind of creating interesting crevices and shapes and textures. And this part is only with practice. The more you practice this, the better you get at it. So in this video, I'm pretty zoomed in so that you can see what I'm doing. But usually I'll be stepping back and holding my brush about midway. You can see about midway, but sometimes I'll be holding it all the way at the end to get a good overview of the whole painting and a good overview of the composition that we're creating. That's always important. Right, back to the highlight brush. And just making some interesting shapes with the highlights. And you can see that I'm moving my brush around and rotating my arm and reloading again. So again, I'm not showing the wiping of the brush. Just make sure you wipe the brush before you reload, because you're picking up a lot of the base color that we put down. I'm just kind of finding some more interesting things here on the left of the mountain. And towards the end of the video, I'll show you how to create some distance in your mountains. So stay till the end for that one. And just kind of breaking up the composition now. I remember this specifically. I wanted this big mountain here to be the focal, but I changed my mind, and that decision usually comes from just taking a little bit of a break and stepping back from the painting, because when you step back you get a little bit more of an overview of what you want to change. So I just decided to do another mountain range here that's on the right. Just kind of removing the excess paint from our highlights and the shadows, so that I can bring in some more of the dark base color back in here. The shop towel is an amazing tool to have when you're painting, not only to wipe your brushes and wipe your palette and forget to wipe the canvas as well. So, and then also you can use it to as you'll see very soon here, to create some mist and some nice blends with it as well. So back to our titanium white here, and I'm going to start creating some mist here. So in the bristle brush again, and I'm starting from the bottom and working my way up here into the base color of the mountain. And now there's the misting with the shop towel. I have some more titanium white on there that I just kind of put on, and now I'm just mixing it with the shop towel, and it creates a nice little gradient with this. You can also do this with a 1-inch brush or a 2-inch brush. If you don't have one, then just use the shop towel. It does a great job. Okay, now I'm going to wipe my brush, and I'm going to try and get rid of some of those lines left with the shop towel with my brush. So it's basically flat with the canvas, and I'm just kind of using it very lightly and in a scrubbing kind of motion. And as I pick up more paint, I make sure that I wipe it off as I go back into the light and dark areas, and creating some mist behind the main mountain here. And you can see as I move up, I pick up some more paint and I wipe it off on my shop towel. And back to the synthetic brush with the dark color. It's gonna outlining the next mountain here. So this painting is still wet all the way through. It hasn't completely dried. So all of the clouds, the distant mountains, it's all still wet. It hasn't dried. It hasn't started to dry. So you'll see next here how I'm going to create some distance with all of these mountains. We're going to push them back even farther. I'm just gonna finishing this up. So I won't be painting this mountain, this last mountain here on this video. Alright, so here's the trick. The shop towel, and then a nice clean shop towel, and just make sure you push it in there. Try not to move it around. You want to make sure that it stays on there. It's basically like you're sticking on a sticker, and then just press it on there. You can as I was pressing it on, here's another one, nice clean one, and just really pressing it in there. You can see that I'm moving the easel around back and forth, and I'm using both of my hands. One is holding the shop towel, and the other one is pressing it like that. And then our main mountain here, and everything is set back in the distance. So you don't need a palette knife to create shadows and highlights on your mountains. Alright, check out this next video, and I will see you next video.